Hello everybody, my name is Colin Kareem. I'm very glad to be back here speaking with you all again today. Today we're going to be speaking about an issue that has been plaguing our society for quite some time. We're going to be talking about the societal shift towards violent media such as video games, movies, and TV, and the effects that it can have on children and their cognitive development. Now, according to an article released by Harvard University's Medical School, more than half of all video games rated by the ESRB contain violence, including more than 90% of those rated as appropriate for children 10 years or older. Video games and movies targeted especially towards children are becoming increasingly violent, and children themselves cannot control the effects that they have on their cognitive development. As someone who was raised with both violent media consumption and strict parental guidance, I understand the influence that they can have on children and what must be done to prevent that. If these influences are left unchecked, they can seriously harm a child's chance of being a decent human being in society. Now, according to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, studies of children exposed to violent media have shown that they may become numb to violence, imitate the violence, and show more aggressive behavior. Younger children and those with emotional, behavioral, or learning problems may be more influenced by violent images. This shows that children cannot filter the lessons that they take away from the violent media that they consume. They don't know how to differentiate what is right and wrong without somebody to tell them this. Also, according to the AACAP, children and adolescents can become overly involved with video games. They may have difficulty controlling the amount of time that they play. They may resist their parents' attempts to limit their time playing video games. They go on to include that, on average, girls spend more than an hour per day playing video games and boys spend more than 2 hours. This shows that along with their inability to filter the lessons that they take from this, they also have a complete inability to limit the amount of time that they spend with this. They don't see it as an issue that they spend a lot of time consuming violent video games and movies and TV. These show that children absolutely can and will be influenced by these violent media outlets and will not be able to fight the problem on their own. Thus, parents need to be more engaged. Now, the solution to this is parents need to remain engaged in their children's lives and monitor and limit the extent of their media consumption. Some people may say that violent video games have nothing to do with increasing violent rates and that it is only up to the parent. However, this is not true. Countless studies have shown that violent video games and movies can have effects on children. And although parental negligence is certainly a part of it, if the violent video games were never violent in the first place, they wouldn't have to guide their children. However, others that say that violent video games are the issue, and because of that, children should be completely banned from playing them, this would not work. Because parental negligence is the issue, simply banning children from playing them would not stop the parents from just buying the video games for their children. A parent that is negligent wouldn't see this as an issue and would just buy it for the children anyway. Now, I want you to imagine a world where everything a child consumes is violent. They go to school and they learn about nothing but war. They come home, they watch violent cartoons, they finish off their night with a violent movie and some violent video games. I want you to also imagine that they don't have any parents. Nobody to tell them, this is wrong. This is why we only see violence in this media instead of real life. This is why we cannot recreate this in real life. We would have a society of people with no moral compass, no idea of why they shouldn't commit violence and be hateful towards each other. This is a world that we can have with the societal trends towards violent media and the increasing rates of parental negligence. This is the world that we could have. Thus, we need to take action. According to Harvard, there are specific courses of action that can be taken to combat this. They say parents can best protect their children by remaining engaged with them and providing limits and guidance as necessary. One specific course of action parents can take to combat this is to limit the amount of time that their children spend playing video games and watching movies. Most organizations recommend 2 hours a day at most. This leaves the rest of the day for productive activities such as going outside and doing schoolwork. Another specific course of action is to remain knowledgeable about what it is your child is doing and to provide the proper guidance regarding that. Help them understand what it is they see in media and how they should view it. Now, thank you all very much for listening. I hope you learned something very important, and I hope that you will go and take action to prevent these influences from taking over our children. Thank you.